Hi folks, this is Dr. Rob Sivas, the Carb Addiction Doc, and today I'm going to bring to your attention a critical concept that distinguishes diet from emotion management or addiction methodology when you are eliminating carbohydrates or other drugs from your life, and that's the concept of drug transfer. When people are fat or unhealthy, they look at a diet. So they go on a variety of different diets, and some diets reduce calorie consumption, like Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem. Some diets are elimination diets. And the keto or carnivore diet is basically an elimination diet, as is intermittent fasting. Keto and carnivore eliminate a highly toxic, highly neuroactive drug from the human system, from consumption, called carbohydrates. Sugar and starch is not a food, it's a drug. On intermittent fasting, you may or may not eliminate carbohydrates, but when you're not eating for a long time, you are removing a drug pattern called snacking and frequent eating and drinking for the emotional value, not the nutritional value. So one of the big problems I have with the concept of a diet is that all diets are deprivational, period. They deprive you without replacement. Now, in a keto diet, you remove carbohydrates and you add in protein and fat. However, that is a one-to-one removal and replacement from a nutritional component. You're removing a drug from your environment and you're replacing it with healthy food, but there is a critical concept that most people don't understand, is that those carbohydrates, that chronic excessive carbohydrate consumption that caused obesity, caused illness, those carbohydrates had an incredibly powerful, positive role in your life. Over time, any drug addict, doesn't matter what the substance is, doesn't matter what the behavior is, you depend on that behavior, you depend on that substance as pretty much your exclusive emotion management system. So when you suddenly deprive yourself, you may feel the benefit of not eating carbohydrates in terms of health and weight, but there's a massive liability in terms of this hole that it leaves in your life for emotion management. Because by the time you become an addict, you've pretty much got carbohydrates and cobwebs in your emotion management toolkit. And if you successfully remove them, you may get healthier and lose weight, but what are you going to do from an emotion management perspective? And here's one of the critical things. Excuse me. For so many people, or let me ask you this question. What is the bad thing that happens so often to people that successfully quit smoking? Crumple up the cigarettes, throw them away. Many of them gain weight, and they gain substantial amounts of weight. You don't gain weight because you quit smoking. You gained the weight because you did a drug transfer. You went from nicotine and the act of smoking as your emotion management strategy to carbohydrates and snacking as a replacement. You just did a drug transfer. So it's critically important, and in my work as a bariatric surgeon, where we intentionally deprive people not only of carbohydrates, but of the visceral act of eating in one day. I say we kill your best friend with a surgery. A lot of those folks commit suicide, they regain their weight, they become alcoholics, they become prescription or opioid drug addicts, they start smoking or using nicotine or cannabis because they're desperately looking, without understanding it consciously, a role for the replacement of that drug when it vanishes from their lives. So it's critically important when you start a ketogenic diet, as you progressively remove carbohydrates, that you understand that concept. And that simultaneously, and long after you've removed the carbohydrates, you replace their positive role in your life, not just with real food, but more importantly, with a diverse, robust, preferably effort-requiring emotion management system that may be physical activity, something creative, something spiritual and meditative, and empathetic human connection. And we talk more about that. But if you don't replace, you're either going to relapse or do a drug transfer. And we don't want you doing drug transfers. If you're in charge of what you do for that emotional management, if you replace a snack with your cup of coffee as a bridge, you're in charge of the replacement. If you don't, bad things are most likely to happen. Be safe, don't do a drug transfer. I hope this resonates. The worst thing you can do is a diet. The best thing you can do is don't do drugs, do life.